I made another custom Thomas Wooden Railway set. This time it's based off the episode Horrid Lorry, and I'll be honest, this is my favorite custom set I've made thus far. What I love about this set is I purposely made it where road is the feature of the set, and they just never did that in Wooden Railway, which really surprises me because they really wanted to make this a success. So I'm surprised 2002, 2003, we never saw something like this. At best, we get 50-50 with the road and rail. So my goal here was to make road the main feature, and I think it was a success. When I create my custom sets, I try to make it as realistic as possible to what I think Learning Curve could have made. So I generally try to pick a year and stick to that. Now this set, I have to really push the envelope to make a lot of it happen. In particular with Lorry 1 and the Scrapyard, as the Scrapyard was introduced in 2004, meanwhile, Lorry 1 was retired at the end of 2003. However, Lorry 3 was still available in the Down by the Docks set, so I think you can make the exception there. And quite frankly, I wouldn't pick 2004s this year. It would probably be 2002, as that's the first year road was introduced. And with road being such a large feature of the set, I think it would make sense to introduce that set the year that road is introduced. Let's look at what's included in the set, and we'll start with Thomas. Now Thomas is a little bit boring. I mean, you look at Mattel and Learning Curve, they both included Thomas in so many sets over the years, so I try to only include him where I think it's necessary to have Thomas. However, I think this set definitely needs Thomas. For starters, this set features heavy road characters, in particular characters that were only in one episode of the show, so I think having the face of the franchise, Thomas himself, in the set will give a familiar face to parents when they go out and purchase the set. Not only that, Thomas did get featured in this episode as well, so you can remake the set with Thomas in it too. Next we have Lorry 1, the only Lorry here that was able to be purchased individually, and he was available for a long time. You could get him in the Down by the Docks set through 2010. Just a lot of opportunities. So of the three Lorries, this is definitely the one that people would not be purchasing the set for. But of course, we have to have all three Lorries in the set. Next up is Lorry 2, a character that was only able to be purchased a part of the Sodor service station. And I mean, that had a short shelf life. It was only available from 2002 to 2004. So I like having Lorry 2 a part of a set. It just makes it so much easier to go out and find Lorry 2 in more than just one individual way that was around for so little. And the final character, Lorry 3, by far the hardest to find of the three Lorries. It was in a 3-pack with Tiger Moth and Boko, and it wasn't one you could just go out and purchase. You had to redeem coupons for it. Just so difficult, and it had a different face from the other two. Like, why would you keep this behind such a hard way to purchase and not include it in a set or individual purpose? Will just never make sense to me. So by far the biggest key prize of this set has to be Lorry 3, and it's so nice to include them in a set and make them so much easier to find in stores. Now switching over to the destinations, this set does feature 2 of them, and we'll start with one we were talking about a little bit ago, the Sodor service station. Now the Sodor service station I include in here mostly because that's the only way you could get Lorry 2. And while it doesn't really fit with what went on in the episode of Horrid Lorry itself, you know, maybe you can envision that after the crashes, these are where the Lorries go. So maybe you're adding your own little story to it, but in terms of the story that we see on the episode, it doesn't really fit the theme of it. But again, since Lorry 2 was able to be purchased with this, I think it does make a lot of sense to include it, so that's why I chose it. The other destination is the Scrapyard, which actually includes its own Lorry. I kind of wish it could be in this set, as it fits the scrap so much better than Lorries 1, 2, and 3 do. However, I feel it's kind of weird to include that when the set features those 3 Lorries. So I took that away. I think a Scrapyard like this kind of makes sense. You know, these 3 Lorries wanted to take over the railway. I think having a Scrapyard here really helps with that, and you can kind of take the scrap and transfer it over from those Lorries to Thomas and back and forth. So I think it does help add a little bit more, so the rails kind of matter in this set. Looking at the design of the set, I purposely made the rails a loop. I wanted you to be able to look at it and know that while rail is featured in the set, it's not the main feature here in this set. I made sure to include a sending track here so you can recreate the scene where the lorry falls off the side of the hill. I'll be honest and say, as much as I like this set, I don't think Learning Curve would have ever created a set like this. But if they did, it would have had to be 2002. And they just never did something like this, and the fact that they never went over 50-50 with the road and rail. They really should have tried this, especially in 2002, to do a set that mostly featured road instead of rail. Maybe it would have gone well, maybe it didn't, but they never tried, and it's so disappointing. Not only that, Lorry 2 and 3 were so hard to get, especially Lorry 3. It would have been nice to have a set like this that featured all three. And I get it, these are characters that only appeared in one episode of the show. They were villains, so maybe kids would want to get them, or maybe for that reason kids just wouldn't be interested. I don't know that for sure, but I think this was a great opportunity. This could have been a great set that Learning Curve created. But I think after 2002, the odds of them doing it were extremely low. And it's just so disappointing because I think there was so much promise here and they just never took the chance. With all that being said, I absolutely love this custom set. It's definitely the favorite one I've done thus far. I think it just has a lot of great features in it for a set of this size. I mean, for one, you're getting essentially an exclusive character in Lorry 3, a very hard to get character in Lorry 2, and you have, to me, just a unique set in terms of the road being such a big feature of the set. And that's my custom Horrid Lorry Thomas Wooden Railway set. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.